It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I'm 79 now. I was 29 at the time. I was an Air Force pilot flying Canberra jet bombers, and I was the senior instructor on that unit. So I got the job of taking the aeroplane across there to pick up the film. I understand that the NZBC paid for the Air Force for the use of the aeroplane because that was going to be the quickest way to get the film back to New Zealand. So it was all arranged between NZBC and the Air Force and the customs at both ends and air traffic control at both ends so that we could have a very quick trip back from Sydney.
So first of all, you flew to Sydney, and am I right that you got to see the moon landing yourself there, or footage of the moon landing there?
Well, yes, we did. See, we flew the aeroplane across in the morning, and we were put into a little operations room where we could watch television, watch the actual moon landing, and just sit there until the reel of film arrived, which was being done. So as soon as that arrived, we raced out to the aeroplane and headed off for Wellington.
So what was it like just carrying that roll of film, knowing that was the one roll of film, or did you have more than one? Was it just one roll of film that you had to get to New Zealand?
It was just one roll of film, and it was in a little case. It didn't feel anything particular. We just tied it down on a seat and off we went.
And you made one of the quickest trips, am I right, across the Tasman?
Well, we think that probably at the time it was the quickest trip between Sydney Airport and Wellington Airport. It wasn't the fastest Tasman trip that had ever been done, but they'd done faster from Sydney to Auckland and that sort of thing. But Sydney to Wellington, yes.
And so was that just you? Were you told to put your foot? Well, I say put your foot on it, but you know what I mean, like to get back as quickly as possible. Was there a time frame that you needed to be back by?
Well, that was the aim. We'd get back as quickly as possible, hoping to get it onto the 7:30 news, which we managed to do. We landed at Wellington about 7 o'clock.
So what happened when you landed at Wellington then?
Well, we just pulled it in to the tarmac, opened the door of the aeroplane. We were met by NZBC and in a car, and we handed in the film, and they disappeared into the distance with an escort of flashing lights with the police. And that was that. We didn't go through customs. We just restarted the aeroplane and flew it back to Ohaki.
I'm interested, did that feel a bit weird, like sort of landing it on the tarmac, police escort, handing over this videotape? I mean, that's not something you do often, well, I guess.
That's not what you see done now in commercial airports, but we were given special treatment at Sydney to get us away quickly and special treatment at Wellington to allow us to arrive quickly.
It's like you say, it's a small role, it's not the NASA side of things, but it's a huge moment that so many people remember watching on TV, and you were such a crucial part in that.
Well, we like to think we were crucial. Certainly that wouldn't have got on the news that night if we hadn't done it that way. It was the only way to do it.
So what do you make of all the 50th anniversary celebrations and the fact that we're talking to you about your role in it now?
Well, I think it's a great thing to celebrate the moon landing. It was a fantastic event at the time. Everything I've read about it since showed how touch and go it all was. Yes, I'm very happy to be some very small part of the celebration.
Has it been something that you've spoken about lots over the years as a story that sort of have shared with lots of people and that has impressed people, I guess?
Well, not really. I mean, it's come up once or twice, but I guess it hadn't come up particularly until we were suddenly thinking about 50 years since the moon landing, and that just reminded us to look at it again.
Have you got children and grandchildren? Yeah. Is it something that you've told them about?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I would think so. They would know. And in fact, there was an article written about me in a magazine a while ago that did include a small bit on it, but up until then, really, I'd pretty much forgot. Well, yes, it had slipped my mind. Really?
It just had slipped your... How does something like that just slip your mind? Or have you just got other impressive things that you've done?
Well, I mean, in my flying in the Air Force, there were lots of exciting flights, and I can't remember them all, and that was just one of them. But its significance now has become something, just at this particular moment.